Okay. Okay. Sorry. Shalom everyone. How are you? Nice to be back. Thank you. Today we're talking about Parashat Va'yakhel. I want to start with a story, interesting story that we can learn a lot from it. There was this guy, thank you, that went to one of the airports here in the United States to welcome one of his friends that were coming from one of the airplanes. And as he waits for his friend, he sees a man that comes also back to the state that he belongs to after a whole trip. And he sees how he meets his family, and it interested him very much. First of all, he had like two very light bags. Like, didn't look like he comes from a long trip from. And then, so first he meets his family. He has 3 kids and his wife. So first he goes to the middle boy, 5-year-old boy, and he hugs him and he kisses him. How are you? I didn't see you for such a long time. You grew up so nicely. And his son hugs him back and he says, nice to see you, Daddy. And then he goes to his older son, and to his older son, oh, you're like a young man now. And the older son tells his father, thank you, nice that you came, we love you very much, we missed you. Then he takes the baby, the girl, she's a 2-year-old, he plays with her a little bit, he kisses her, he gives it to his older son, and then he tells to his kids now, the last but the most important one, he speaks with his wife. They look like, at each other, deep meaning into the eyes, and so on and so on. And the guy is looking, and it's very interesting him, but he feels embarrassed that he kind of staring at his family. And so the guy turns to him, the one that traveled, and he tells him, can I help you with something? Were you looking for something? And he's like, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stare at you, but I wanted to ask you, for how long exactly did you go away? He tells him, for whole 2 days. That's it? Looks like you went for a month or even more, at least a few weeks, not only for 2 whole days. And so he tells him, can I ask you another question? How long you're married, please? He sees little kids, he sees big kids, he says about 10 years. And he's like, wow, I wish, he says, that my marriage will be also so exciting after 10 years of marriage. Usually at 10 years people feel tired and exhausted from it, and it looks like long journey together. The man tells him, let me give you an advice, my friend. Don't hope, decide. What exactly it means, this little example and nice story? This will relate to our parasha. Basically it's all in our hands. We just have to take responsibility and do things, Don't say, oh, I wish I could, but I don't have the money, but I don't have the ability. But this is what the Torah teaches us in this Parashat Va'yakhel. What is Va'yakhel? Va'yakhel is Moshe gathering, assembling, the Jews, the nation, and he wants to address them. He wants to tell them certain things. When exactly did this happen? It says that it happened a day after Yom Kippur, when he came back from heaven second time. Let's try to remember. First time he went to heaven to accept the Torah. He was there for 40 days. He comes on Yud Zayin Tammuz. What happens? He sees the Jews making the most terrible sin ever, the golden calf. So what's now? He was supposed to come, his goal now to tell them, let's build the tabernacle, which is the temporary holy temple. Let's make Hashem, the presence of Hashem, be with us. All of a sudden he sees that they worship idols. It's like they cannot really do this. So he go again to heaven for 40 days. He asks for forgiveness. And then Yom Kippur, he comes back. Hashem tells him, Salachti kidvarecha. And this is when Moshe wants to assemble the people, to call them again, and to ask them for two things. So first thing, what is the first mitzvah that he tells the Jews that they're supposed to do now? Interesting. Shabbat. He tells them that they have to keep Shabbat. And second thing is to tell them about building the Mishkan. Okay? What's the connection between Shabbat and the Mishkan? How does it goes together exactly? Why these two things supposed to be with Va'yakhel, with gathering all the people? So yeah, after this big crisis that the Jews sinned and worship this golden calf, so in a way Hashem wanted to break his covenant with the Jews. He didn't want to continue, okay, with them. And Moshe is asking and praying to Hashem, Hashem, please be with us. Hashem tells him, you know something, okay, I send Malachi lefanecha, I send the Malach, the angel. I won't be among you, I'll send the Malach. Moshe prays, says, no, if you're going to send the Malach, we don't want to go to Israel. We want you to be with us. He asked, and then Hashem says, okay. And the way that we know that Hashem forgave us is when he told Moshe to start building the Mishkan, okay? So that Hashem's presence will be among us. Why Shabbat? Harab Chaim Friedlander, very famous rabbi, he wrote a book by the name Seftei Chaim, and he says something like that, something very interesting. It says in the Gemara Masechet Shabbat that the 39 violations, the 39 the prohibitions that we have, that we are not allowed to do on Shabbat, 39 melachot, are this melachot that we used to do in the Mishkan, okay? We had to color the garments, so we're not allowed to color. A lot of melachot that they had to do over there, and whatever they had to do in the Mishkan, these are the things that are not allowed to do on Shabbat. You know, they put these two things together, that's the connection. We learn that those laws of Shabbat, always you teach, as you gather people, you have to teach them always, constantly, laws of Shabbat. Because it says in Yalkut Shimoni, אם אתם עושים כסדר הזה, if you're going to do this thing that you gather people and you teach them the laws of Shabbat, הקדוש ברוך הוא מעלה עליכם, Hashem considers it כאילו המלכתם אותו בעולמו. Like you crowned him in his world. It says in the holy books that these 39 melachot are against 39 curses that Adam HaRishon, Chava, and Nachash were cursed whenever Adam HaRishon, he ate from the wisdom tree. What exactly it means? Adam HaRishon, in the beginning, before the sin, he lived in Gan Eden, in heaven. It says, in I think Masechet Sanhedrin, it says that Adam HaRishon was sitting in heaven, and the angels would give him wine that they already have made it ready. They sifted, the wine was clean, was very good, and they roasted for him meat, meaning again, the meat was ready. You don't have to go and slaughter the animal, you don't have to clean it, you don't have to kosher it, you don't have to, right? It was roasted already, cooked, ready for him. So he sat and enjoyed. That was before the sin. Once he made the sin, everything got confused over there. Hamaral בספר דעת תמונות says that before the sin, whatever Adam HaRishon did was kodesh, was holy, was pure. It's like you have a baby baby doesn't have evil thoughts in him. Even if baby takes off his clothing, it's pure, it's beautiful. He doesn't think about the sin, right? That's how was Adam Rishon before he made the sin. But once he made the sin, okay, everything got confused now. And he got cursed. What is the curse? Now you have to sweat in order to provide, in order to have food. Now it's not so easy. All of a sudden, the angels do not feed him anymore. He's not in this environment of purity and holiness in the heaven, and he has to go and work and basically separate look for the food, select the food from all the waste and all the psolet that there is in there. So now he has to work very hard. It's like when we make today, you want to make a bread, right? How much people have to work in order for them to eat that bread? You have to go to the field, you have to collect the wheat, you have to separate, you have to sieve, you have to, I don't know, to do so many things. You have to grind, you have to cook. There's so many process to do before thing is ready, which was not there before. So now Adam Rishon has to work very much. Now the bad, the evil, and the good are mixed together. It's not separated like it was before. And this makes a whole big confusion over there. And even Rabbi Chaim Vital, which was the student of Hari HaKadosh, he said that on Shabbat, the reason that we're not allowed to violate, we're not allowed to do all this Lametet Avot Melacha, because on Shabbat we're coming to the situation that Adam Rishon was before the sin. And we have to deal on Shabbat only with Kodesh, only with purity and holiness and stuff like that. And this is the difference between Shabbat and the other days. So God forbid, if people think that Shabbat chokes them, that it's too much violations, you're not allowed to cook, you're not allowed to drive, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed. The idea of Shabbat is a merit for us. It's something that, you know, we can rest. We could do things that during the week we don't have the chance. During the week people are so much overwhelmed. They don't have time to think a little bit, to think about spirituality a little bit, because they have to provide. It's so hard. You have to run after the bus stop, after your kids, after putting them to school, taking them back, cooking, cleaning, working, coming. It's many things during the day. Shabbat is kind of rest. Now, it says that Bnei Israel, when they got the Torah, they said, Na'aseh v'nishma.
For me, it's not a restaurant.
Excuse me?
Shabbat is not a rest.
She's serving.
Shabbat.
Friday, Saturday is it's like crazy.
Right. It's interesting that you said that, because women, and soon I'll come to women are the one that really have to prepare so much for Shabbat. What does men do for Shabbat usually?
They
work all the way. They come half an hour before Shabbat, they take a shower, and they're ready. There's nothing to do for them. Women has to start thinking during the week, when she's making shoppings, when she starts making her salads, when she's doing this and when she's doing that, and then the food, and then the cleaning, and then showering and taking care of all the kids, and blah, blah, blah. Baruch Hashem, lots of work. And it's interesting because women, we know, that are more spiritual than men. Men on Shabbat, how they elevate themselves? Through their special prayings on Shabbat. Mm-hmm. You know that they say Kedusha on Shabbat, Musaf on Shabbat, things that we don't say during the week. It's interesting. When we pray, ברכות המאורות, we say, וביום השביעי התעלה וישב על כיסא כבודו. הקדוש ברוך הוא He elevates himself and he sits on his throne. Excuse me, asks one of the rabbis here. Only on the seventh day, only on Shabbat he sits on his throne? All the time he sits over there. Yeah, but we are able to see or to feel it, or we're aware of it only on Shabbat. When we clean all our minds from all the distractions that we have during the week, this is when we can accept, this is when we can understand, this is when we take upon ourselves the kingdom, the kingship of Hashem. We say in Musaf, Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. Aye mekom kvodcha. All of a sudden we're asking, where is Hashem? We elevate ourselves, we go up when we say Al Kadosh, but Hashem is also, as more as we go up, Hashem is also up there. And it's a special day, it's a special thing that men, they can go through the tefillot, through prayings, they can elevate themselves. Women, through these preparations already, can elevate themselves and get ready to Shabbat. It's interesting.
When they like the food even, no? When they say, wow, it's amazing food.
This is when you feel your neshama.
Finally, we need the Shabbos, you know.
So, when we got this Naaseh V'Nishma, Hashem gave us 2 crowns. Every Jew got 2 crowns when they said Naaseh V'Nishma. But when they made this sin over the golden calf, these 2 crowns were taken away from them. Moshe got them. We say it in the tefillah. Moshe got these crowns, but he gives it back to them every Shabbat. Because Shabbat is me'en olam haba. Shabbat is like a special day. And Shabbat, when we say Naaseh V'Nishma, meaning we kind of self-deprecate ourselves in front of Hashem. We kind of nullify, we lower ourselves, we undervalue ourselves towards Hashem. And like the angels do. And so when Shabbat comes, Moshe gives us back these crowns, because Shabbat is like Naaseh V'Nishma. We accept his kingship. We understand what is Hashem. We're getting to in a very, very high level. So our challenge on Shabbat is to extract this ability that we have inside us to come to a point that we crown Hashem on top of us. How are we going to do it? If we prepare ourselves in the right way, like we said before, we're supposed to make ourselves kli kibul, a vessel that can accept the kedusha, that can accept this neshama yetera. And this why, like we said before, we start preparing ourselves even before Shabbat. And if we have them married, the Shabbat gives us strength to the rest of the week. Also, we get from the glory of Shabbat. Let's see what Shabbat does to us. Once I told you the story about Yossi Meshita. If you remember, time of the Greeks, Antiochus wants to conquer the Holy Temple, and he doesn't know how to get in. The Holy Temple is a holy temple. You're afraid to go inside. So he wants to send people inside to go and to take things from the temple. Nobody wants to go in. Gentiles definitely are afraid. They don't want to go. Jews will not go. Who would he send in? There was this low person by the name Yossi Meshita, and he said, you know something, I'll go in. Yossi Meshita wasn't a good man. He did a lot of sins. He didn't care about Judaism. He didn't care about Hashem. He didn't care about the Holy Temple. He said, I'll go. Especially when the king promised him, the first thing that you're going to take out will be yours, but all the rest will be mine. He said, fine. He goes inside. And what's the first thing that he sees over there? He sees the gold menorah. He says, I'll take the gold menorah. He takes it out. The king sees the beauty of this gold. It's a huge menorah. If you go now to kotel, you will see that outside the kotel, they put a nice, huge, big menorah. They basically prepare it ready. When Mashiach comes, we're going to have already the menorah. Beautiful, beautiful thing. So he takes it to himself. The king says, excuse me, this is something that fits kings, not you. You cannot take it. So go inside again, and next thing, whatever you take, it will be yours. All of a sudden, it hit him. He shook him off. He says, excuse me? I made my creator, I made God angry already the first time that I went in. I won't go the second time in. The king tells him, why do you care? Since when you care about what's Allah? You're angry, Hashem is angry, Hashem is not angry. You make always Hashem angry. You don't care about it. Go again. He says, no, I won't go. He promises him, he threatens him, he punishes him. And it says, there's a description how he punished him. He didn't want to go in again. The question is, why this low person that never cared about laws, about mitzvot, about Judaism, about making Hashem upset, all of a sudden he woke up and doesn't want to go in. So they said that the king, he shook him off a little bit. He made him think, wait a second, I went down the drain so much and I didn't pay attention. How did I come to that point that the king is able to send me again and again, okay, to do against my nation, against my morality, against my... He didn't... This is when he stopped. He says, no, I won't let it happen, even though he knew that the king will punish him. So this is the Shabbat. During the week, we are overwhelmed. There's so many things that we go through. And there's nothing to stop us and to think, hey, am I on the right track? Do I elevate myself sometimes? Do I go in spirituality or do I go down? Many times people don't pay attention and they do go down. Because they don't go to classes, they don't attend shiurim, they don't listen or...
How do you know? How do you measure when you go down?
You feel it. You feel it from relationship between you and your husband, or relationship between you and your kids. How you feel about yourself. Are you happy? Are you depressed? Are you down? Are you know? All these kind of things, it's a sign for you that you have to wake up, you have to shake up yourself, you have to read something, you have to learn something, you have to grow a little bit. Because if you don't go to shiurim constant, you do go down. Naturally, that's what happens. So, think, me working so hard, did I neglect my kids' education? Do I pay the right attention to my husband the same way I used to pay to it 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago? Is it the same kind of relationship, or who cares already? So Shabbat is for you a stop. Yeah, you clear your mind. You don't have to listen. You don't have your iPhone next to you, and you don't have the, I don't know, fax or internet or all these distractions that you don't have to cook, you don't have to drive, you don't have to shop, you don't have to do all these things. You see it, and you relax, and you think, this is Shabbat, what it's supposed to do to us.
Then you sleep more.
Well, it's nothing wrong with sleeping. It says, Shena b'Shabbat ta'anug, it's the initials of Shabbat, it's not wrong. But if Shabbat is only food and sleep, that's not the purpose of Shabbat. Shabbat is not only to rest physically, but also spiritually, right? That's very important also. So, I want to finish with this story about Shabbat, but something interesting about women. I read a nice line. It says, while the men are at the shul crowning the king, okay, they're praying, they're davening, the women are at home building the kingdom. So this is your job. This is our job to build that kingdom, and we'll soon talk about women and how they contribute to the family, to the nation. Okay. I read this story, interesting story, and today I found the connection. It's beautiful. About 100 years ago, here in America, a girl by the name Ruth, Ruth Teich, immigrated to America. She left her family back in Europe, and she promised her father that she's going to stay religious, even though she immigrated herself, and she's going to stay loyal to Judaism, and she will continue to keep Shabbat no matter what, because people were afraid. America wasn't the place for Jews here, because people were light about certain things, and economy wasn't easy, it was hard. Everybody who came to America those years, they had to work on Shabbat, because financially it was very, very hard. If you go and you work from, let's say, Monday to Friday, and you don't work on Shabbat, they fire you. They don't need somebody that doesn't work on Shabbat. That's how it was all the time, everywhere. So this girl comes, and she came to her relatives' home over here. She'll have to work and to pay them for the rent. You know, they will give her food and everything, but for the rent she will pay, and she has to send some money, I don't know, to herself or to her parents. It doesn't matter. She needs to earn some money. So she found this place where a lot of Jewish women used to work. It's called the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory. You heard about this? Huh?
Yeah.
So it was in Washington Square in Manhattan. A factory that used to make shirts and clothing and garments and stuff like that. Owners were Jewish, but they forced people to work on Shabbat. There's no other way. You have to. Now, back in those days, the workers didn't really have rights also. They had to work 14-hour shift, many, many hours. The payment was very low, 13 cents per hour. No working conditions, meaning no good conditions for the workers, no safety sometimes. Let's say in this factory, for example, if you're working with the machines and you broke a needle, it goes down from your salary. If a thread was torn, it's your problem. If a machine was broken, you have to pay for it. If you wasted electricity, if you didn't, everything, it was so hard, but people had to, they didn't have a choice. So this old comes to work at this place, and so for the first 2 weeks, okay, she managed, she told the manager or whatever that she didn't feel well, her leg, her head, her this and that. Okay, he excused her. Third time when this happened, he told her, hey, I feel it's because of the Shabbat. If you're planning to not to work on Shabbat, forget it, you're going to be fired. I'm warning you, it's the last time that I allow you to go away, but that's it. So she didn't know what to do with herself. She promised her father she's going to keep Shabbat, but from the other side, it's impossible. She was trying here and there. This was the only place that was, at least in a way, protected. Many, many ladies used to work there. A lot of Jewish women used to work there, and it was, in a way, safe for her to go and fight in a little. Everybody wanted people to work on Shabbat. She didn't know what to do. So that Friday, she was wandering around. She was thinking what to do, and then she decided not to go to work on that Shabbat. What was the day of that Shabbat? The 25th of March, 1911. Okay? This is when she was wandering in the streets. It was very cold in the Lower East Side. She found a bench. She sat over there in one of the parks, and she didn't go to work. After a whole day, okay, being in the park, only late at night, she went back to her host home. What happened meanwhile in the factory? A careless worker threw a cigarette in one of the rooms over there, and he didn't turn it off, okay, didn't step on it too, and it caught fire with some garments, and the fire spread very fast. It was on the 8th floor. They didn't have safety things over there, and quickly, the fire became so strong, people were trapped, didn't know what to do. Now, okay, so whoever was on the 8th floor were trying to go down the elevator. If you remember, if you know elevators, people have to go. There's this guy that works over there. They have to go inside. Few people at the side. He has to go down with them. He has to go up with them. He has to go down with them. He has to go up with them. People were trying to escape through the fire escape. But because of the fire, because of the heat, because of the flame, because of the smoke, even the fire escape got melted and twinkled, and people couldn't, and it was very high. People that were on 9th floor were trapped, couldn't go down, didn't know even about the fire in the beginning, but then they were trapped over there. The fire trucks, when they came, their ladders didn't reach so high. It reached only to the 6th floor, didn't reach. Basically, people were trapped there, and lo alenu, 175 people here in America 100 years ago were killed in that fire. Mostly women, many Jews, a whole big disaster. This girl, by the name Ruth, she was saved from this disaster because she decided not to work on Shabbat. She comes to her host home and they're, where have you been? What happened to you? She says, I didn't go to work. She thought they will scream at her again. All of a sudden they were kissing and hugging her. You didn't hear what happened. She said, I don't know. She was saved because she didn't want to go to work on Shabbat. When was it? I told you. The 25th of March, 1911, Parashat Va'yakhel Pekudei. Exactly this parasha. Mm-hmm. What is written in this parasha? The first thing, the first order that Moshe gives as he comes from heaven, you have to keep Shabbat. Lo tevaru esh bechol moshavtechem. That's what it says over there. It's amazing to see. By the way, the owners of this factory, their name were Isaac Harris and Max Blank. They were arrested, they were charged for murder because they didn't care so much about the safety of their people. They got their punishment for the fact that they forced people to work on Shabbat. So the same way that Shabbat is a vessel, is a time for the presence of Hashem among us, so is the Mishkan, is this holy temple, the tabernacle that we have. Okay? Let's talk now about the holy temple. So Moshe asks them, please contribute, bring. He tells them which garments, which things, which elements. They have to bring gold, they have to bring silver, they have to bring all kind of materials to the holy temple. And it says that the Jews, they really wanted so much to give. As they come and they give, Moshe had to tell them, stop, we have enough. The interesting thing is that women were there first. It says, V'chol isha chachmat lev. What is this chachmat lev that we're talking about? Katuv, V'yavohu ha'anashim al anashim. That's what it says. Rabbanit Batia says that when women came to give first, to contribute, to donate first, and then their men come and they saw their wives over there. And this is this advantage of the women. If you remember, on the golden calf, when Aaron Kohen, he wanted to make it slow, wait, he wanted to make this man, to kill time, to make men wait, he told them, you know something, go to your wives and take jewelry from them. He knew that women are not so easy to give their jewelries, and probably it will take time until they will come. The men themselves, they took their own stuff and they gave it to Aaron. The women didn't want to participate in this thing. They didn't believe in this thing. They didn't want to make this thing. Okay? Here we say that they were the first one who gave. It's not like they're holding their stuff and they don't want to give it anytime anyway. No, here they were the first one who gave this their precious jewelry, and they gave it happily. They gave it with so much excitement that another thing, the way that you give is also so important. If you give it with happy face, if you give it with all your heart. It says in Masechet Bava Batra, Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, Kol hanoten pruta la'ani, whoever gives a coin to a poor person, mitbarach b'shesh brachot. Hashem blesses him with 6 brachot. Okay? 6 blessings. Ve'amefaiso b'dvarim, whoever talks to him, calms him down, even though he doesn't give you money, he tells him tomorrow will be okay, come, he talks to him, how are you, what's happening? Okay? Who Yitbarech, he blessed with 11 brachot, almost double, okay? Than the one that really gives the money. So how you give is also very, very important. It speaks about Rabbi Abba Yudin. So there was these three rabbis, Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Yehoshua, and Rabbi Akiva, that were collecting money for the needy, for poor people in Israel. They were going from place to place, and they used to come to Abba Yudin very often and to take from him money. He used to be rich. But then it happened that he lost his money. He didn't have anything to give them. When they came to ask for him money, they saw that he was so sad that he couldn't really give anything to them. He didn't know what to do. So he goes to his wife and he tells him, what should I do? These rabbis are expecting money and I really want to give. I don't know what to do. So yeah, a woman could tell him, we don't have nothing now. What do you want? We used to have, but now we don't. You have to think about yourself, right? Naturally. But no, she saw that he really wants to give so much. He told him, you know something? We have one field left, our own field. Go and sell half of it. The half of it we're going to keep it to ourselves. Half of it you're going to sell whatever you give to them. That's what he did. He sold the half of the field and he gave to them, and they left. Sometime later, the rabbis blessed him. They said, "Hamakom yamalech esalcha." Hashem will give you all whatever you need, all whatever you miss. Fine. After some time, he went to plow his other half, and as he was plowing the field, there was an opening inside the ground. His cow fell and broke his leg. Hashem, he could have said, why do you do this to me? After a generation, after the charity that I gave, I tried so much, I sold half of my, this is it, this is my reward? But no, he didn't say. It says he was digging to take out his cow from there, and instead he found treasure over there. He found treasure. He says, "Letovati nishbara regel parati." It's for my own sake that the leg of my cow was broken. Hashem did just good to me. He went and he became wealthy again. Next year, the rabbi